Welcome everybody to the AFL Season 5 Draft. This will be our first official season outside of Minecraft in our Minecraft Football League, the MFL. So this has been a merger between the two. And the easiest way to put that is, we're moving on. The MFL will be no more. The Axis Football League is coming to Centennial Station. And, rather quick might I add, tonight, 32 picks, only doing one round, and it's a redraft, everybody. So every team had the option to save two players, one if they chose or none if they chose. The Vikings chose 0. They chose to save no one, and we will go over every team who they chose and who didn't choose. Without further ado, let's go ahead and hop right into the draft. And with the first pick in the MFL draft, MFL. Been a while. The AFL Draft, sorry. The Berlin Charge are now on the clock. And with that being said, yes, we have an expansion team drafting first. Amazing. Oh, hi, Mr. Cameraman. Thank you. And with that being said, it's definitely going to be a little interesting to see going further. But that's okay. We're here to see how things go. This is all random. Alright, every pick. Berlin selects number 1. Tampa Bay at number 2, DC Knights at 3, the Outlaws at 4, and the Tipton Trojans at 5. And with that being said, the Berlin Charge, the pick is in. And wow, I'm very surprised for a relocation, a new franchise in. I'm very surprised by this pick. But with the first overall draft pick in the Season 5 draft, give it up for two-time Diamond Bowl champion and free safety, Jay Modern. He's been on the Outlaws his entire career. Never played, I guess he was on the DC Knights Season 1. But he's always been on the Outlaws. So very interesting change of pace for him. He's going to be seeing the new scenery first time since Season 1. Congratulations to Jay Modern. The Tampa Bay Royals are now on the clock, and here we go. Jay Modern going number 1. He's a two-time Diamond Bowl champion. He's been with the Outlaws for both their championships, even in Season 1. When they were known as the Battlehawks, the Los Angeles Battlehawks. And what a name that was. Jay Modern actually had to come in second half and start off as the quarterback, leading the greatest Diamond Bowl comeback, or greatest MFL comeback in general. Got Papa Jolly Rancher here while we wait for this pick to come in. And as I'm speaking, wow, this pick. Tampa Bay Royals, the pick is in at number 2 overall. Give it up for the one-time most underrated player of the year, the one-time Diamond Bowl champion. He is a defensive lineman, Allen Bishop Jr. ABJ 13 goes at number 2. And this kid has been unstoppable. The only years he hasn't made the All-Star game were years that he sat out of the league. Of course, he comes back last season, goes to the Outlaws, wins a Diamond Bowl with the Outlaws on the go-home show for the MFL. It was a beautiful sight to see. A lot of OG players, I should say, won a Diamond Bowl that year, or that game. And now another team from the MFL, one of the OGs, the DC Knights, are now on the clock, and this is very emotional. Jay Modern went number 1 overall. DC had number 1, 2, and 3 in the first ever MFL draft. And they stacked their team. They went 4-0, but couldn't pull it together and win the championship. Happens sometimes. And I'm very interested to see where they go. They did save ETG, aka Aaron Donald Jr. And they also saved Derrick Henry, I believe. Yes, they saved Derrick Henry, who is their wide receiver 1. So, again, I would have expected Berlin to go quarterback, actually. A lot of players stand out to me, such as Rudy Tutia. I know Colin McFarland's in the draft, but he's looking to go to Tipton. He grew up and was raised in Tipton. What other quarterbacks are in this draft here? Oh, that's right. Aaron Rodgers Jr., former Rookie of the Year, is in the draft. Aiden Stidham's in here. Henry Stickman, an OG's in here. Hunter Rawlings. Dior Walker Scott had a pretty decent season with LA last season until he got traded. A lot of notable names are around. And with that, the pick is in. with the third overall draft or pick in this oh my goodness, that's going to get confusing to say. MFL, geez. AFL. With the third overall pick in the AFL Season 5 draft, give it up to the one-time Rookie of the Year, one-time Offensive Player of the Year quarterback, Rudy Tutia. That could be the problem solver there in DC. DC, they have a good wide receiver. They have a good, defensive lineman. Why not go ahead and step out, get yourself a quarterback to sling that ball around and lead this team? Rudy's done it before. He led the Outlaws Season 2, to the championship where Mikey had to step in and things didn't go as planned. Everyone knows about that. And now at number 4, the Los Angeles Outlaws are on the clock. Very interesting take here. The Outlaws saved running back Carson Shade and quarterback Nate Shade. They let Jay Modern go. It was a big one. They let Alan Bishop Jr. go. That roster was stacked last year, and now they're pretty much, they're still very stacked compared to most, but they're starting off with almost nothing. Definitely interesting to see. They do have their franchise quarterback and franchise running back, but besides that, they don't have much. You don't have those receivers. He's always had Lance, Dick Powers, whoever. He's not going to have all those players. And as I'm talking, the pick is in. The Outlaws quick. Wow. A future Hall of Famer himself. So far, we have seen 4 Hall of Famers in the first 4 draft picks. Give it up for the one-time Defensive Player of the Year, defensive lineman Kyle Wessex, arguably the greatest defensive lineman in MFL history. Wow, that's a big pickup for the Outlaws, and you guarantee to see him in the backfield quite a bit. And now at pick number 5, the Tipton Trojans are on the clock. And this is a team where, they announced publicly they're trying to keep it local. They want to keep all their players who are from Tipton here. That includes the likes of Cooper Keene, an outstanding linebacker, Colin McFarland, a quarterback, Nate Rabenstein, a wide receiver, NJ Watt, a cornerback, Will Nixon, a running back, Brooklyn Carper, a defensive lineman. They want to target these guys, but I don't know if they're going to have enough picks, only being 1 round, so we're going to have to wait and see. And the pick is in indeed. And they select quarterback Colin McFarland. And now, I almost jumped the gun, but here we go. And now, the Outlaws are back on the clock. And this is a room where I would probably go wide receiver. You figured out that defensive line problem. I know the Outlaws are a very defensive coordinated team, but you got your offense. You got your quarterback, your running back, you got your defensive line, you got a shut down right end, or defensive lineman in general. Get a wide receiver. Let Nate Shade sling that ball around. Why not? I want to see him have a field day. But Colin McFarland, our previous draft pick, very talented guy. Extremely accurate. He lacks in the arm strength, sure, but you match him with Nate Rabenstein and Will Nixon. That team is going very far. I'll be the first to tell you, they're gonna see some rings. They will definitely see some rings. And like I said, the pick is in. And at number 6, the Los Angeles Outlaws select one-time Defensive Player of the Year. Give it up for cornerback Rocky Franklin. Rocky Franklin actually won the Defensive Player of the Year last year on the Snowington Bears in their loss, in the season they lost, to the LA Outlaws in the Diamond Bowl. That story sure is a little confusing because the Outlaws have been fighting 2 seasons now to get Rocky Franklin on their team. I remember when he was a rookie, they tried getting him to leave the Vikings, come there, and he just didn't want to. Last year, they wanted him to leave Snowington and go there, but he didn't want to. He wanted to go to these underdog teams. It worked out for him getting that Defensive Player of the Year, but now the Outlaws get him all new season. I'm very excited to see what he does there. But again, the Pittsburgh Thieves are on the clock, and now we just wait for this. Pittsburgh, another relocation team. They're in the same conference as the Philadelphia Bells, New York Twins, and Tipton Trojans. All 4 of these teams are in the same conference. Or same division, my mistake. Of course they're in the same conference. And the pick is in. And wow, that's a great pick. Pittsburgh definitely knows who they wanted. And they came out here and got him. Comeback Player of the Year, one-time Diamond Bowl champion. Give it up for one of the top wide receivers in the league, Dick Powers. And that right there is a mind-blowing pick. I did expect Dick Powers to go high. But you just had a chance. The Outlaws could have matched Dick Powers and Nate Shade up. Could you imagine that? If they would have taken Dick Powers just one higher at number 6. All right, that's a very. I feel like Dick Powers went late. I mean, Berlin would have been better off taking Dick than Jay, just because Dick Powers is that. They're both veterans, but Dick Powers has more impact on the game. Jay Modern can't make a play every single drive. Dick Powers can. And match him with just an average quarterback that Berlin will have. Put him on, just feed him the ball, he can carry you to a win. Jay Modern can't do that on his own. You need a defense around him, and I feel like Berlin will struggle because of that. It's a great pick for Berlin long term, but if Jay Modern doesn't look to stay past that rookie deal, it could be a bust. Well, the Outlaws are on the clock again at number 8, and their pick has just arrived. They're going to select one-time Diamond Bowl champion, middle linebacker Rudy Tutia Jr. What a pickup for the Outlaws. They are really focusing on that defense. We've seen them go Kyle Wessex, Rocky Franklin, now Rudy Tutia Jr. Rudy Tutia Jr. was on the Outlaws last season when they won the championship. That's another great pickup for them. They got a returning player. Now they have 3 players from last season, and this could go very well. And here we have a team who stepped out for a while. This team, they disappeared off the face. They used to be in the MFL. They had a run to the championship at that. They ran all the way to the Dime Bowl 3, one of the greatest games I've ever seen. We saw the greatest catch in the MFL era, if not the MFL era, the greatest catch what am I saying? Not just the plain greatest catch. Wow, I'm lost for words trying to explain it, but Daniel Creel, currently on Lakewood Reapers, he was saved by the Reapers. When he played for the Mustangs, they went to the Diamond Bowl in Season 3. He had, if not the greatest catch in the MFL era, he had the greatest catch in a Diamond Bowl during the MFL era. Either way, outstanding touchdown reception by him, and I'm very, very excited to see who this team goes with him. Wow, the pick is in, and already I see who they went. They went the one-time Diamond Bowl champion, returning player at that, Mason Hunt. Mason Hunt goes back to Michigan, where he went shortly after his tenure with the New York Dragons, Wolves, whatever you want to call them, where he won with Nate Shade and Lance Tunneler. Now, back to the Mustangs, where it all started. They were the Diamond Bowl favorites. He was there with Mike Williams and Mike Johnson. They were the favorites. Everyone thought they were going to win it. Mason Hunt no-showed that game and they lost. It's very upsetting. He was also in the leading for the MVP, but again, he no-showed the final week and all the playoffs, so he didn't win it. It's just upsetting how that team folded in already. The Dolphins at pick number 10 have their pick in, and we all saw this coming. Tight end Poe Panda goes back to the Dolphins, where it's always been for him. Of course, he got drafted to the Wolves, kind of as a troll, just to mess with the owner of the Dolphins, but quickly traded to the Dolphins, and he played at the Dolphins in Season 2, and he looks to continue. Oh my. Now the owner of the Dolphins gets to pick again, this time for his second team. The Diamond Valley Vipers are now on the clock. And Diamond Valley, again, another expansion team. They will be in the RFC. For anyone unaware of what the RFC is, that is the Relocation Football Conference. The AFL will feature the RFC and the MFC, the Minecraft Football Conference, which is just going to feature all of our, Minecraft football teams that we've ever had. And they will feature the RFC. My mistake, I actually stand corrected. The Vipers are in the MFC. They were brought in by the OG MFL, owned by Little Giant, I believe is his gamer tag. I know him best by his first name. I've known him since I started playing Minecraft football. So, believe it's Little Giant, but if I've got that wrong, I'm sorry. Me and him, I feel like we were at one point friends. We were never very close. We never played much either. But he's a very nice man. I've had a couple of conversations with him. Very nice man. Oh my god, I have to stop moving my mouse. And like that, the pick is in. The Diamond Valley Vipers have selected at pick 11, one-time Diamond Bowl champion, and I believe he's also the Diamond Bowl MVP, Yoshi Hayes. What a player the Vipers just got. This is the kind of player you want to see from an expansion team. To come out here and get a franchise receiver, someone who's going to give you at least 2 good seasons at that rookie level. Yoshi knows what he's doing. He came in as a rookie last year to Tampa, Didn't work out. He went to the Outlaws, won a championship, won the Diamond Bowl MVP, and he quickly became Nate Shade's favorite target last season. And now at pick number 12, the Thieves are back on the clock. Already picked up Dick Powers. They already have that offensive threat. I'm thinking they go quarterback here. There's still tons of fantastic quarterbacks out here. And oh my, I forgot. So this is going to get a little confusing for some of you. Before we came to the Axis Football, we were going to Madden. We had a team modding Madden. We were going to have 32 completely custom teams. Custom jerseys, fields, logos, all of that. But sadly, it didn't work out. Files were constantly getting corrupted. It was just taking way too much time and money. And so we found Axis Football and decided, hey, this is honestly a lot better than Madden. So we made the switch to Axis Football. And some trades did go down when we were in the Madden League already. The Pittsburgh Thieves have Aaron Rodgers from the Green Bay Packers in the NFL Madden, you know. So they actually probably will not go quarterback. Just thought I'd mention that. I didn't even think about that. Berlin, I don't even know who they have, but I don't believe they have a quarterback. And the pick is in at pick number 12. The Pittsburgh Thieves select one-time Defensive Rookie of the Year and one-time Most Underrated Player of the Year. Give it up for the cornerback, or defensive back, sorry, Nick Kings. Nick Kings, a stud. A stud on Lakewood last season. Was a big reason they won a lot of those games, especially after the Nate Shade trade to the Outlaws. So, Nick Kings looking to, Nick Kings looking to rep that yellow and black once again. That black and yellow once again, repping out of Pittsburgh this time. They got that quarterback. They got a wide receiver. They got a D line. What's next? I'm personally thinking running back. Running back's going to be a big part. Granted, you do have Rudy Tutia. He's a big arm. Maybe get another wide receiver for him. Get him a second threat. And the pick is in. And they go defensive back. Massive Frog Slong Dong Jr. from the MFL. What a big pick up there. He's actually very fast. Great hands. I'm expecting a good interception season from him this season. Could even be the interception leader for all I know. And well, here's a team a lot of people are expecting defense. It's a relocation team. The Philadelphia Bells are now on the clock at pick 14. And with this selection, I mean, Philly has always been a very defensive area. The owner owned the Philadelphia Bells in college, and he focused on defense primarily. That's how they got to the Iron Bowl several times. And the pick is in. And wow, they select an underdog in this draft class. It's actually very risky for him to have gone, especially this high. Austin Howard, the defensive back. He was drafted season 1. He played a preseason game in season 2 and never played again in season 2, 3, or 4. He hasn't been here for 3 seasons. And the man was just drafted at number 14 to Philly. I hope things go his way, but I don't think they will. Philly isn't going to have an established offense. They won't have anyone to build around Austin Howard. But I can see where they're coming from. They want to give him a chance and push him out there more. And now on the clock, the Birmingham Bullets at number 15. And they will select quarterback Aiden Stidham. Stidham drafted season 2 to the Michigan Mustangs. Could we see a reunion there? No, because season 3 he left instantly and went to the Los Angeles Vikings to play for his coach who coached him in college, the Viking the Red, owner of the Vikings as well. And here we go. The Rocktopia Miners are now on the clock. They saved in the offseason Jamal James, I believe, and Martin Marte. And they're going to come out here and get a second wide receiver, third offensive player, Daniel Martinez, a stud at the wide receiver position. He played almost or all, one of the two, of his pro days in the MFL with Cavcar. So interesting to see where Cavcar goes later. He's a quarterback. And Martinez goes at 16, a very underrated wide receiver in my opinion. And now, with the 17th pick, the Richland Crusaders are on the clock, and they select a quarterback themselves. Last year, round 1 pick to the Outlaws. Didn't work out how they wanted despite him showing signs of success. Dior Walker-Scott, a.k.a. Army. Army came into this league. He was hot. I mean, he had some mistakes, just like any other rookie quarterback did in the MFL. But, He persevered, and I think the only reason he got traded from the Outlaws was solely because they looked at it, hey, listen, right, we're in a rough spot. You know, this is the final season of the MFL. Why don't we make some trades, get some stacked players on this team, win the chip, and go home the champs? And well, that's what they did. Almost missed playoffs, but they did make it. And you can't complain more than that. And ain't that funny how that works out? Just speaking of them, and now at pick 18, the defending champions, the Los Angeles Outlaws, are on the clock. And quickly, Outlaws are up to no good as they go ahead and select the center, Blaine Janica. That's the first of 3 to go. Triplets, the Janica boys are. I mean, there's tons of them. College senior this upcoming draft, college senior this upcoming season in ACFL. There's Brady Janica. I know there's Carson and Matt Janica. I know there's Todd Janica. There's so many of these boys. Just what happens this year, we got triplets. Blaine Janica, the center, goes to the Outlaws. We also have his brother Travis Janica and other brother Justin Janica, who's a running back. Travis is an offensive lineman as well, but he played left tackle through college. So I can't wait to see where those two land, or if they land on free agency, maybe we could see them go to the Outlaws with their triplet, twin, brother, you know, whatever you want to call him, Blaine. And here we go. It's now the runners-up from last season, the Snowington Bears. They saved Dallas Modern and Hezekiah Rowland. So they have a quarterback. They have a defensive back, a very good defensive back. He was defensive rookie of the year. Or no, he was rookie of the year, sorry. Last year, Nick Kings was defensive rookie of the year. Sally, you know, he didn't win any awards, but the biggest issue I feel was they didn't have threats around Hez. He wasn't a very great passer. He's accurate, but you definitely need more for Hez. I'm thinking they go running back. Let Hez relax back there. Don't force Hez to have to throw the ball. Give him a break. Let him do his thing. Throw when he needs to, when it matters. Don't have him throwing if you don't have to. And with that, the pick is in, and they actually go a different direction. They go wide receiver, Corbin McCoy. This was Skywars, a.k.a. Aiden Stidham's #1 target through college. Corbin McCoy played with him in college. I believe they played together on the Vikings as well in Season 2, along with Jerry Rice III. So, this team is very strong, and I'm looking forward to see where they go now, having Corbin and Hez together on that offense. They've always, they have good owners, but they just never have found any sort of major success. And why is it so hard to see? Why is there so much orange? Oh my goodness. And with me saying that, the Calabasas Apollos are selecting running back Justin Janica. So a team that saved Mike Williams and Mike Johnson now will also have Justin Janica. I believe they also have some NFL talent on there as well from the draft or from trading. I don't know who all, but they do have a couple guys. So, and the Charge are now on the clock, only 20 picks after their initial pick. Sorry, I had to read something. Their pick is in already, and they're going straight left tackle, aka offensive line, Travis Janica. So the Twins are all 3 off the clock, all within 3 picks, I believe. 3 or 4 picks of each other. Amazing work by these 3, all getting drafted as well. That's very hard to do at the pro level at that, but they're all brothers and they all did it in the first round. Travis was a stud in college, not as good as his brother Blaine, but hey, they all 3 played on Pitt University. And Pitt, again, looking to be very stacked. They have some amazing talent. So I'm looking forward to see who they, push out to the draft in the upcoming seasons. I know Brady Janica is there. I know Tyrone Bigsby, Todd Janica. I know Matt and Carson Janicas are there. I don't know where else. I know Mikey Mason is there. Michael Mason. So, lots and lots of talent to come out of there. Well, folks, 10 more picks on to go. And the Milton Keynes Bulldogs are up at 22. Another expansion team hailing out of Emerald Hills, Milton Keynes, Emerald Hills, sorry. And here it is, they select quarterback Cav Carr, so he does get drafted just 6 picks after his partner in crime, Daniel Martinez. Cav Carr going to go to Milton Keynes Emerald Hills, where he faced off a lot. I believe he was with the Vikings for a tenure, so he's used to Emerald Hills. He's used to the scenery there. Excited to see how this all goes for him. And right here is a team who could shock a lot of people, honestly. The New York Dragons. They're an OG team. They've never really had a great season despite Season 2. If you look past that, when they rebranded Head and Eat Shade, they never really stood out. After that, they struggled Season 3. After that, they struggled last season. But they came out here and they saved their 2 best receivers. Their 2 best players, honestly. Stormy Storm II and Zavon Carter Jr. Both of these players are still on the Dragons. I'm looking to see if they go quarterback maybe. Maybe they're going to run like a defensive back, someone to anchor that defense. And no, the pick is in. The New York Dragons at 23 select running back Max McDonald. Dude, what? Why would they select Max McDonald? Max had such little success. He had a lot of success in college, mainly because he was fed the ball. I mean, he was force-fed the ball. But he did look good while doing it. Teams knew they were going to run the ball, and he still got a lot of yards. His biggest issue, I feel, was his ego, though. Max let his ego get the best of him. He thought he was better than he was. Showed up to the MFL with actual real talent and competition. And he did not... I believe he was on, 2 or 3 teams in his MFL tenure in a season as a rookie. So, teams were constantly getting rid of him. One for his behavioral issues. He was egotistical, and he just wasn't that good. As a close friend of Max, I do hope he does good. But now at number 24, the Lakewood Reapers are on the clock, and we already know they're going to go quarterback. They have Lance Tunneler, they have Daniel Creel, 2 outstanding wide receivers, some of the best in the class. Daniel Creel has never dropped a ball in his 4 years in the NFL. He's an OG player. He's never dropped a pass. He has the greatest reception in MFL history, in Diamond Bowl history, in Centennial history during the MFL era, if not the greatest in Diamond Bowl history at that. Lance Tunneler is the greatest receiver in history. Some will argue Dick Powers or Mike Johnson, but Lance is just consistently better than those 2. It happens. And the pick is in it. What? The Lakewood Reapers go 1-time Rookie of the Year, 1-time Defensive Rookie of the Year. Defensive lineman Hunter Frog. Why did they... Okay, Hunter's a great pick, don't get me wrong. He's a great player, but... those 2 wide receivers aren't going to do nothing for your team if they don't have anyone good throwing them the ball around. And that's disappointing to see happen. Very disappointing to see happen, honestly, but here we go. Pick 25, the Ravenwood Express are on the clock, and this is a team. They've had actually some pretty good success recent years. They've been here since, I believe, Season 2. Season 3, maybe. Made a conference championship, I believe. A runner-up to a conference championship. They lost round 1 last season. They're coming out here. They saved Tyreek Hill III and Cutie Sizzy, the defensive back. So, wide receiver, defensive back. Obviously, they're going to want to go quarterback here. And the pick is in, and it's a 1-time Rookie of the Year, and it is 1-time Rookie of the Year quarterback Aaron Rodgers Jr. He holds tons of records, actually. All-time game, that kind of records. Most passing yards in a game. He's an amazing quarterback, and I'm very excited to see what this young guy can do. Now, moving on, the London Monarchs are on the clock at number 26. The Monarchs out here. Oh, and they're a team, they could have some success. Again, they weren't here. They're a relocation team. But they have 2 picks, I believe. Yes, I just checked myself. They have 2 picks. If they don't mess up like Berlin, who also had 2 picks, and I feel like they misused those. They went for line and defensive back. Very interesting. But I feel like they have 2 late picks. There's tons of great players still out there. And I feel like they could make a very good argument and stand here. And already starting off strong, the pick is in, and the London Monarchs select wide receiver Fog Zeus. That's a great pick to start off with. I love it. They're going after a fast guy who has some good hands and good route running ability. He's young, he's still learning, but Fog Zeus has that capability to be a star for your team. And now back on the clock, the Tipton Trojans. So they have back-to-back picks here. These will be their final 2 picks of the draft. At 27, the pick is in. The Trojans go N.J. Watt, defensive back. Interesting. They went quarterback to start things off. They went ahead and got themselves Colin McFarland, a great quarterback. Now they're going to go defensive back, N.J. Watt. So, see how he does the season. They definitely need to focus on that offense, I would assume. And as we move on to pick number 28, the Trojans back on the clock, and they do indeed go offense like I suggested. Wide receiver Nate Rabenstein goes to the Tipton Trojans. And I think this team honestly has some good capabilities. Colin McFarland, Nate Rabenstein on the offense. You have N.J. Watt on defense. I mean, wait till free agency. There's only 4 more picks in the draft. If Cooper Keene, Brooklyn Carper, Will Nixon all drop the free agency, they have a stud team coming up, I guarantee it. Here we are, the London Monarchs, back on the clock at pick number 29. And the pick is in. They go quarterback Henry Stickmin. The man, he's been here since season 1. He's such an OG, but he's never had success. Henry Stickmin, 0-4 his rookie season with the Dragons. He sat behind quarterbacks Mike Williams, Nate Shade, Rudy Tutia, all 3 of them he sat behind. And I'm looking forward to see where he goes in the future. Henry Stickmin had a lot of possibilities with him. I understand he's not the greatest out there. He's not the greatest skill-wise, but he's sat behind these guys. I remember statements from Nate Shade saying that Henry Stickmin was the only guy willing to actually sit through his training with his personal trainer. Nate Shade is the kind of guy that Mike Williams tried training with him the 1 year, actually his MVP season, and Mike Williams left several practices early because he just couldn't deal with it. Henry Stickmin isn't that guy. He put up with the pain, he fought through it, he's earned Nate Shade's respect. I know from interviews that Rudy Tutia has stated Henry Stickmin's always asking questions about why he does things, always observant, he's always reviewing film with Rudy. And Mike Williams and him constantly would have little competitions at practices. Never anything, threatening to take Mike's position, but always had competitions as to who's going to complete more passes or so-and-so. Great pick for London. I'm very excited to see what this young man does. Never had success in the league, but could that all change today? And now, at pick number 30, we are in the final 3. The Nebraska Hogs select cornerback. Oh, I read that wrong. My mistake. It's like middle linebacker. Cooper Keene, he goes. Cooper Keene, a star linebacker there, is going to go to Nebraska. Who, it's interesting. Their quarterback, they have AI-generated quarterback. He's not awful. He's not bad at all. Lance Gronkowski, but he definitely needs some work. They do have Darrell Atkins, who's a stud wide receiver. Looking forward to see that guy play with the Hogs. And now Keene to solidify that defense. This could be a serious contender here. And now pick number 31 to roll in. The Altoona Engineers are now on the clock. Again, this Altoona team, they're going to be facing off against, I believe. And yeah, so the Altoona Engineers are in the MFC East. They were actually supposed to be an MFL franchise or expansion team, but just never ended up happening. So they will be in the MFC East with the New York Dragons, one-time Diamond Bowl champions, the Tampa Bay Royals, and DC Knights. So they definitely have some work on their hands, and they're starting off strong. Their pick is in, and they select running back Trey Boer, an Altoona native. Great speed on the kid, great hands. I'm looking forward to see where he takes his team. I know there's also Altoona quarterback Aiden Steinbugle, wide receiver Joey Hallinan, tight end Matt Amandalia. I know there's some more players coming in the future. I know Bill Rabenstein, the linebacker, he's an outstanding player, also from Altoona. I know there's some more players, like I said, coming in the future. Not sure when they will declare for the draft, but Noah Murtaugh, Kenton Lewis, these type of players still in college from Altoona. Looking forward to see if Altoona even gets them, if they get to play with their high school buddies, their friends they grew up with. And now with the final pick And the AFL Season 5 Draft, the Hollidaysburg Golden Tigers are now on the clock. Altoona's rivals, essentially. I mean, they're only a city away. Altoona's a pretty big city. Hollidaysburg is literally right next to Altoona. It's kind of like the rich area, you know? It's a very rich area of Altoona. I mean, it's not of Altoona, I guess, but it's, you know, it's where the rich people live. Hollidaysburg, this is essentially the Mr. Irrelevant. Could we say that? I mean, I understand, like, we're only doing one round, but this is, like, the last pick of the draft. So, and here we go. Pick number 32 is in. The Hollidaysburg Golden Tigers select cornerback, defensive back, whatever you want to say, Jay Bumblebee. He's definitely not irrelevant. That is a star player right there. The Tigers select an amazing player coming out, Jay Bumblebee. He will do many things for Hollidaysburg. I'm looking forward to see the things he does. Ladies and gentlemen, week 1 of the AFL will be dropping just next week. Get excited because the AFL is here. Centennial Station is back and we are ready to go and keep a move on, everybody. Oh, I didn't even do that. But you all have a fantastic night. We'll definitely be catching you very shortly.